Good afternoon, everybody. It was the occasion to speak about Jean-Paul Belmondo first because it is a huge star in France. He has been a very huge star in France. And also it is the anniversary of his death because he died 6 September 2021. So it's quite 1 year he dies. And I just pick up the editorial of Liberation about Jean-Paul Belmondo. He says, why has Jean-Paul Belmondo become the French incarnation of a star? The answer lies not only in the trademark of his popular register. Not enough. It is then tempting to say that his Belmondo became Belmondo. It is thanks to the other actor, the one of Godard, the new wave of Breathless or Pierrot le Fou, the one who love here and that, we will regret for the moment. The answer to the question, why Belmondo, lies in the trait that links this double career of no movies and film daughter, this permanent insouciance, so natural and so inevitable. I was found these words were very true about him because he always says he was in life to have fun. So that's why when he was in the conservatoire, and before, he was always interested by acting. When he was young, he born in Neuilly-sur-Seine because his father was the well-known sculptor Paul Belmondo, and his mother was a painter, Sarah Reynaud Richard. And when he was young, he has no problem with his family to study comedy, and they were very okay with that. So he tries private drama school and began performing sketch in the province, and he was not very good in school. He was not very interested in school. He was more interested to make fun the friends, and he has a good audience, and he was really good in that. So there is some picture of Belmondo which are interesting all in his career. Continue. And this is most action movies, and this is a beginning in the 60s when he was trying to have some interview to make some movies, and this is one of the last pictures done by Patrick Swierkes. It was done by for Liberation magazine, and I think it is quite the double side of this guy. Yeah? He's always been double, very good actor for New Wave and very good clown, I would say, for the other film. Yes, in the conservatoire he was always mocked by the teacher because the teacher says, with your face you will never be Jeune Premier because you are too ugly. So Belmondo was very frightened about that, and when he passed the final concourse of the dramatic arts, he make like a pastiche of the school, and very funny. It has been held by all the other students as in triumph, but he has a very, very bad note by the teacher. And one of the teachers tell him in aparté after, says, the teacher disagree what you've done, but the man applauds. and he was like that. And this is very important to know because Jean-Paul Belmondo keep his own freedom. And he always does what he wants to do. He's never been in a frame. He's never been in a. He always been stupéfiant. You know, he was following his own way, and the way he has not been recognized by his peer in the school, make him having a sort of revenge on the life. So that's why. He says that's why he goes to grand public movies, because for him, it was most important to be recognized by the audience than to be recognized by specialists or by critics. He doesn't care about that. And he has also continued, during all his career, he continues to have some theater play. And he was very happy to make some theater play. So when he dies, many, quite all the magazine in France make the picture of him in the first, in the cover. And it is interesting to see how the magazine, what is the selection of the picture of the magazine. For example, Libération makes something very new wave, very abstract. And Le Figaro makes something mostly middle of the road. And yeah, you have the other one, and this one, L'Humanité. Le Magnifique is very funny movie, but very popular. Very popular. You will see an extra after. Yeah, that's it. So it has been very important. And now we are gonna see, because when he he make a small movie with Godard, which has been no success at all. And when he says, Godard picked him at Saint-Germain-des-Prés and asked him to come to his room. And Belmondo was like that. He says, "Oh, what's that stuff?" Because at this time, Godard was not very known, and Belmondo thinks maybe it's something gay. So he was not attracted by that. And he talked about Godard to some of his friends, and friends says, "Yeah, Godard, go. It can be interesting." And it was the first beginning when Godard find Belmondo. This is question. Did you recognize this movie? Of course, you recognize it. Jane Seberg in À bout de souffle. Okay, can you?
The name of the movie?
À bout de souffle. À bout de souffle. Breathless in English. À bout de souffle. Can you continue, Philippe, the image? And this is the cover. Really 60 way. And I make my own selection to some movie I found can be interesting. And this one, what is interesting, because at the beginning of his career, he has been a lot of this is from Claude Sauté with Lino Ventura. So at the beginning, he starts very strongly, and he has a lot of next. And this one is from Vittorio De Sica in 60s with Sophia Loren. Next one is Peter Brooks with Jean Moreau. Next one is Mauro Bolighini in 61 with Claudia Cardinal. The one we are gonna see with Emmanuel Riva and Melville as a director. And he goes back to Godard with Anna Karina and Jean-Claude Biriali in 61. He has made a lot of movies in a very short time. Cartouche, Philippe de Broca with Claudia Cardinal, and it is the first time he is working with Philippe de Broca. Philippe de Broca is a director mostly, he's made a lot of movies with him because it is an action director. And this is Le Doulos Melville again, avec Serge Reggiani and Piccoli. Doulos mean in slang of des voyous, dans l'argot des voyous, ça veut dire la balance. The one with in between police and thieves. And one of the another Philippe de Broca, it's L'Homme de Rio, and it's one of the first movies he's making. Comment on dit les cascades? Hein? Stunts. And Belmondo also is very known because he has never been. He's working with a cascader, but he's making himself the cascade. Stunts, yes. He's making all the stunts by himself, and he's really known by that. So he takes a lot of risk, and always insurance were afraid about that in the movie. You know, he's climbing. This is a landscape of Rio de Janeiro, when not Rio, Brasilia, during the construction of Brasilia, and he's making a lot of cascade with cars, and it's really violent, but funny. This is Pierrot le Fou, Godard, Anna Karina again. Next. And this picture is very famous because it has been a poster from Festival de Cannes. They take it for Festival de Cannes. And this is Tribulation d'un Chinois en Chine, Philippe de Broca again, with Ursula Andress. And for the story, they fell in love together, and he spent 8 or 9 years with Ursula Andress. The Thief, le voleur, avec de Louis Malle. Louis Malle was one of the Nouvelle Vague director. Catherine Deneuve, François Truffaut, La Sirène du Mississippi, beautiful movie. Borsalino, Henri Verneuil, Borsalino, c'est depuis Jacques Deray avec Alain Delon. Le Casse, Henri Verneuil avec Omar Sharif. Le Magnifique, Philippe de Broca avec Jacqueline Bisset. And Le Magnifique is a pastiche of James Bond, all these spy movies. You will see an extract. L'Animal avec Claude Zidi and Raquel Welch. And one of the most audience he has avec Georges Lautner, and the dialogue are Michel Audiard, which is one of the most important and interesting dialoguistes in the French cinema. And one of the last, Les Misérables, avec Claude Lelouch. But he always makes some theater, always. And now you can launch the video.
Si vous n'aimez pas la mer, vous n'aimez pas la montagne, si vous n'aimez pas la ville, allez vous faire foutre.
New York Herald Tribune.
Patricia.
Je voudrais construire Roméo et Juliette.
Oh là là.
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a, Michel?
Je suis un grand boxeur. Oui, je suis emmerdé. Connaissez-vous ce garçon?
Tu es fou.
Just I choose this bande-annonce because it is a modern one. It's for the launch on the DVD, and it shows how this film is still actual, and it is a thriller, and it has a rhythm, it has something like actual movies. So it's still actual. Next.
Tendre et cruel. Réel et surréel, terrifiant et marrant, nocturne et diurne, solide et insolite, beau comme tout.
C'était un film d'aventure.
Son sang coulait de 1000 blessures et il combattait seul, car elle avait juré de ne pas reculer d'un pouce.
C'était un roman d'amour.
Sortir d'un mauvais rêve.
C'était un film d'aventure.
Ah, quelle terrible 5 heures du soir.
C'était un roman d'amour.
Nous vîmes des paysages d'hiver et des paysages d'été.
Compère, vous mentez. Compère, qu'as-tu vu?
J'ai vu le café où Van Gogh un soir terrible a décidé de se couper l'oreille.
Une saison en enfer.
Un poète qui s'appelle Revolver.
Robert Browning.
M'échapper.
Jamais.
Bien aimé.
Tant que je serai moi.
Et que tu seras toi.
Cela ressemble trop à la fatalité.
Un petit port comme dans les romans de Conrad.
Un bateau à voile, comme dans les romans de Stevenson.
Un ancien bordel comme dans les romans de Faulkner.
C'était un film d'aventure.
C'est comme pendant la guerre d'Algérie.
C'était un roman d'amour.
La recherche du temps disparu.
Les jours passent.
Une surprise partie chez Monsieur et Madame Expresso.
C'était un film d'aventure.
La prise de Constantinople, l'histoire de Nicolas de Staël et de son suicide, je sais pas.
Des siècles et des siècles s'enfuient dans le lointain, comme des orages.
L'amour est à réinventer.
La vraie vie est ailleurs.
Marianne Renoir.
C'était un roman d'amour.
Tendre et cruel, réel et surréel, terrifiant et marrant, nocturne et diurne, solide et insolite, beau comme tout.
Pierrot le fou.
Tu lances le prochain? Next one.
l'arrière.
The second side of his career. And you see the typo of Jean-Paul Belmondo. It's not Jean-Paul Belmondo, it's Belmondo. And in all the movie he's playing like that, it's Belmondo. And people who are not going to see a movie, they are going to see a Belmondo. And that's different. Okay. And now we are going to see Léon Morin. And Melville, the director of Léon Morin, is undoubtedly one of the greatest French directors. He's better known to his crime film as the sumptuous masterpiece Le Samouraï with Alain Delon. But when he started to do Léon Morin, he was looking to have some success, and he was Jean-Pierre Melville is not part of the New Wave movement, but is considered by the people of the New Wave as one of the precursors and one who is instigator of the New Wave. And this is Léon Morin. Melville, sorry. Another picture of Melville is more interesting. Voilà, this one. Because he was making a lot of black movies. And it's from a novel written by Beatrix Bex, published in 1952, who won the Goncourt Prize of the year. One of the the two characters are very important, and Emmanuel Riva was just finishing the Hiroshima Mon Amour movie, who has won BAFTA award for the best actress in Venice. And can you launch the video of Hiroshima Mon Amour?
Hiroshima. La nuit, ça ne s'arrête jamais à Hiroshima.
Jamais ça ne s'arrête à Hiroshima.
Je me souviens l'avoir entendu avant, pendant que nous nous aimions, pendant notre bonheur. Je n'ai plus qu'une seule mémoire, celle de ton nom.
Tu n'as rien vu à Hiroshima. Rien.
C'était mon premier amour.
Something interesting in Léon Morin, it shows as a DOP, director of photography. No, I will talk a little bit about Melville anyway. Melville, it's not. It's the name he took during the war. He was a resistant, and her real name is Jean-Pierre Melville. He's Jewish, and from a family of Alsace. And he starts some revolutionary filming method, because you will see in Léon Morin there is two very different sort of filming. There is some film in the church or in the place they are living or they are working. It's very standard movie of the 40s. Straight, the frame is not moving, it's very long, and at the other side there is some mostly it is in the place when the priest is. It is very classical light. But all which is outside, it's done with a very small camera, and it is like close to the way of filming of the Nouvelle Vague. And in this movie there is both. It's shaped for the atmosphere. The atmosphere is different in the way of filming. And during the First World War, he moved to London in 1942, and it's there he takes the name of Melville, which is the author of Moby Dick, Herman Melville. And he's battled in the south of France, and he was soldier. And the DOP is Henri Dequet, and it is interesting to see Henri Dequet was also a sound engineer, sound editor, and he was a photojournalist in the French army during the World War II. And when they were filming during the war, they were always using very small camera, very light camera. So all these reporters became to make a very strong influence in the way of filming for the Nouvelle Vague. And he has made a lot of movies with Rimal, Claude Chabrol, and it's the first one who decided not to use a tripod on a shot. So about this movie, there is different way to see it. I don't want to speak too much, because I think it is more interesting to speak after you have seen the movie. And the different way are desire and love, faith, Christianism and Protestantism, about the marriage of priests, war and resistance, war and collaboration, new wave and classic. And this is all different way to see this movie. And also this, actually for me it is really a performance of the two actors, because all the movie is on the play of these two actors, and you will see Jean-Paul Belmondo is really amazing in the way he's talking. It seems very natural, and Emmanuel Riva, there is a sort of balance in between, and you see. So I prefer we talk about it after, and now we can see the movie. I just want to launch it. And you see when your phone was playing at the end, how it was a mess. You know, so the music is very, very important in this movie also.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not. It just gives some.
I thought it's straight.
It gives something. It gives something. And always in this movie, you see, you think it's a play between a cat and a mouse. He's always playing with her in the seduction and using words of religion. But she's running in. What is your impression? I would like to know what you think about that.
I have seen maybe twice or three times this movie before. And but to see this movie in Orville, it's a new movie. Because mainly the first part of the movie, before she converts herself, she decided to be Catholic. And in the first part, the priest is like a guru. And we think about the three of Bilbo when he told us about the link between each one and the divine. And he told us mainly there is a guru which help everyone to go towards the divine. And for me, at the first part of the movie, Morin is a kind of guru, and he is very open. And at the second part of the movie, it's more we are in the Catholicism and in the procedure of Catholicism. It's another thing.
His attitude about Catholicism also is interesting because during the Second World War, the Vatican doesn't take any position against the Shoah, and many Catholics think it was not good to try to be neutral in front of the insanities and making the German against the Jewish. And in this, when he's talking, he's saying he takes some distance with the hierarchy of the religion. It's interesting. Because Melville was a resistant, so a Jewish resistant, a partisan, and
Share about 39, 40, the year of this story.
during the war.
1939, yeah, I mean.
It's 40, 45. 45.
It's on the end.
Yeah.
Oh, 45.
It has been, the roman has been written after, and he has Prégoncourt.
Okay.
Prégoncourt, I don't remember which year.
61.
61, yeah, 61.
We, okay.
No, before.
It's
It's 40, 45. Or 44. 44.
Somewhere.
Après les Américains, oui.
Yeah, the Prégoncourt is 52.
52.
Yeah, so it has been written just after the war. So this topic is very hot. And the black and white is bringing something in the story. Yeah? The pictures are really fun, really beautiful. The frame are beautiful. There's nothing to change. And also, did you notice the different way of filming? It's a little bit subtle. When he moves the camera and when he has this, at the end, for example, it's typical expressionism. There is some part of the movie which are very linked to expressionism, German expressionism, with this black and white very strong, and comment on dit les chants, non pas les chants contre chants, mais les is filming sometimes by below. It is typical of the way of filming because this cinema is close to the emotion. It tries to give emotion with the image. And all this movie is about emotion, is about love. What is love of God, love of a man, and on this confusion at the time. And you notice it changed at the moment they start closer and he began to speak about him. So he doesn't speak about religion. Religion is like a filter when he's speaking to the people. He's not speaking by himself, he's speaking by the dogma, he's speaking by Christianism. And when he starts to be himself, to speak about his childhood, he became human. So becoming human, he became to be object of love for her. And it's slowly going. Yeah?
I think it's more desire than love.
It is much desire than love. Yeah, sure.
It's much more what?
About desire.
Desire.
Than love.
Mm.
And I think je vais y aller maintenant.
Merci Claude. And also, when he talks with all these women, we are lost. It's like a psychoanalysis. People are coming to him to talk and what's happening in my life. They need solution. But he doesn't give solution. He gives some receipt of religion. So yeah.
I found it very intelligent script. Amazing.
Yeah. The script is very
and deep messages. Wow.
Yeah.
Deep what?
Deep messages.
Yeah.
Message.
Yes.
Very deep messages. Wow.
Very large. Very open-minded. Very open-minded. And he touches many different themes, subjects.
Yeah.
Like for example, at the end, towards the end, we see the Americans.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are very few filmmakers who showed that the Americans behaved in a very bad way with the women in France and Italy when they came.
It was the truth. Yeah.
They are always shown as heroes who come and liberators, but in fact many of them behave that way. And he shows it. It's surprising how the many things he shows. Surprising.
For me, it was really touching because I grew in my family. My father make petit séminaire, so he wants to be oppressed at a moment. He stopped, and my mother family was anarchist and artist anarchist, and it was for me. It's always doubt of what is religion, what is Catholicism, and I don't support the discourse about culpability. The culpability, which is everywhere in the movie. You have to confess, or you are guilty. You have to tell something about your guiltiness. And
Well, it says not to be guilty also in the beginning.
It's very open. It's very open.
Very open.
And when she decided to be Catholic,
You will say no, don't.
That is very funny when she says the time. When she said that, I noticed it because for me it was quite an introduction for the movie. When she converts and she come to him, trying to tell you something, I said with difficulty. He looked up at me attentively. Barney, that's it. I'm out of control. Léon, you are out of your mind. Barney, yes I am. I am converted. I am at your command. Morin looked dismayed. It's the resume of the movie. It's the resume of the movie because he tries to move her to this Catholicism, and when she comes, he says, there is always this. It is not Manichaean movie, it is always in the subtlety.
I love one sentence that she asked him, what is this invisible religion? And he said, all the men with goodwill.
I noticed it also, yes.
Several times it reminded me Chauvin.
There is some contact, but it is not, I think it is not contact directly, it is about through spirituality. It is through spirituality. Philippe, you have something to say about this movie?
and once she said it is one of the most spiritual Christ men met.
For me, cinematically, the way the camera has been moved was very amazing, because at times it's just standing there, and then there's one scene in the bedroom where it feels like the camera is floating, like it's on her side and then it goes above the the bed, and then I was sitting there, how is he doing that? It seems like he's using a Steadicam.
It is by hand, yeah.
I'm sure Steadicam was not even invented at that time, but so smooth, as if a machine is doing it. So I don't know how many real time, from filmmaking point of view, that was one of the things that struck me. And the second one was the first time when she goes to meet him, that entire scene is a one take. So it seems like the actors are prepared like they would do for stage. All the lines, and there are so many complicated discussions going on in that first visit. And by the time it ended, I realized that, oh my God, the whole thing was one take. There are no cuts like in all the other ones. Then I was waiting to see if the other ones are like that. But in the other ones, there are cuts. In the first meeting, I don't know whether it was deliberate that they wanted to show the importance of what she's going through the whole thing being staged like a play, rather than we don't have any over the shoulders, we don't have any intercuts. That was really amazing.
I understand why Belmondo likes and accepts to do this movie, because it is quite theatre.
Yeah.
It is all is on the different characters, different characters supporting the movie so much. And it is like a performance.
Even the way he moves,
the character is so amazing, and Emmanuel Riva also has a play with many subtlety, and and the story also is good. Like Hitchcock said, what is a movie? A movie is a story plus a story plus a story. Okay, so thank you for coming.
Thank you.